So sorry for that internet connectivity issue. So we will start with some basic basics related to statistics. So in that, first question is, what are the different, we can say, basic, what are the basic data types, main classification for classification of data types in terms of data. So which are the two main basic types for the data types for the data? I'm asking the primary data types for the data. I'm asking about data types, guys. Yeah, right answer, Rohan. So the basic, continuous, and discrete. This is the main data type classification for the data. We can say it as a prime classification for the data. So I hope you are aware about these concepts of continuous data and discrete data. I hope so. Can you explain what is continuous data and what is discrete data? In a layman term, how you explain these continuous and discrete data? String tuple is the related to the Python. So I'm not asking you regarding the languages. Explain or define. Continuous or discrete data. Okay, Rishabh. In discrete also there are few more subcategories are there. Only 0 and 1 is not a discrete kind of data. Yes, guys, give me the answer. Discrete, yes and no. 0 and 1. So, in terms of examples, you are giving the right answer. But how do you define this thing? Define these terms. Define means in a layman term, how will you explain these terms? Continuous and continuous, yeah, just breathe that as decimal and makes sense. Yeah, yeah, you're right. But for what for discrete just breathe? Discrete is countable. Continuous is measurable. Yeah, yeah, right. That is also a right. Ipsita, continuous is measurable. Nominal, yeah, those are the types, Prem. You have given the right answer, but that is for the types of the discrete data. Is one which has decimal and does not make sense. Yeah. So, yeah, as answer given by the Jaspreet, that is also a right answer. So the data which is expressed in digits and it is measurable. Such kind of data is nothing but a continuous data, or else we can define in this way also, like Jaspreet defined. The data is expressed in digit, either it may be a decimal or a integer, whatever it may be, but it is making a sense and making the sense means such kind of data we are calling it as a continuous data, and exactly opposite to this is nothing but discrete data. So in discrete data, as Prem mentioned, there are four categories: data which is expressed in either in digit or text, either in digit or text, and it is not measurable, not measurable or not making any sense from that. Like a person, 1.5 person will not make a sense, right? The persons will be always in the integer kind of counts. So such kind of representations are comes under discrete data. So this is the prime difference between the data type of the data. Clear, guys? So the next question is which measures. I hope all of you are aware about this basic concepts. Which are the measures of central tendency? Which are the measures of central tendency? Just name those. I'm expecting only the names. If you are able to explain it, explain it. No issue. But I'm expecting only the names. Yeah, mean, median. Yeah, right. I think all of you are right for this question. Mean, median. Try to explain it. What is mean, what is median, and what is mode. I'm not writing this, as these are very basic thing. I'm assuming you that you are aware about these things, concepts related to this. Yeah, so what is meant by mean, what is meant by median, and what is meant by mode? Yes, guys, give me the answer for mean, median, mode. Mean is the average of the data. Okay. Yeah, median is the middlemost value, right? Yeah. So that mode is the most repeated. Yeah. Correct answer. So the next question is, which are the measures of variability? Which are the measures of variability? Yes, answer for this question. Just name those. Yeah, right. Range, variance, right? Just breathe. Others, standard deviation, right? Okay, Kirti, you are also right. Variance and standard deviation. Deviation, it's not a deviation. Okay. So all of you are given a right answer. I cannot add few more things to that. Range, variance, standard deviation. Also, z-score is also there. With that also we are able to find out the variance, how much the variance is there. R square is also there. Are you aware about this term R square? It is mainly related to the linear regressions, R square and adjusted R square. R square. So these are the terms which gives the variance between measures of the variance in the data. Okay. So these are related to any kind of data. And R square and adjusted R square, we are mainly focusing about this in the regression, linear regressions. So next question is, What is mean by standard deviation? I'm not taking these basic two terms. So, and in the last class, I discussed about this bias and variance. In that, I discussed this variance term also. So, what is mean by standard deviation? I don't want formula. I want just an intuitive meaning of that. What is mean by standard deviation? Yeah, so it is a right answer in terms of formulation, Ipsita. So what it does actually, what are the inferences we get from this standard deviation? Those things also be there. Because the interviewer is expecting from you the intuitive understanding about these basic terms rather than the formulas and all. Yeah, so you're right, Vishwanath. Spread of data. It is giving the spread of that data set. It's a measurement of how spread out numbers in our data set. And after that, you can say that it's for mathematical meaning also. It is nothing but square root of variance. What it does, it just check for the how the data is spread and how it is calculated by square root of variance. If you mention these the two things, then it is an added advantage for you that you understood about the concept also, and you are understood about this formal mathematical intuition behind that also. So it's that kind of thing. Okay, clear, guys? Yeah, dispersion of data set related. Yeah, that is also a right answer. So the next question is, what is mean by z-score? What is mean by z-score? Yes, guys, for this Z score, what is the answer? Yeah, that is right answer, Ipsita. Vishwanath distribution with a mean 0 and standard deviation. Standardization is also called Z distribution, Z score. Vishwanath, okay, mean by standard, okay. Ipsita means 0, standard deviation. Standardization shows a relationship to the mean. Yeah, yeah, right. Most of you have given almost right answers. So Z score is it determines number of standard deviations the data point is from the mean from the mean. So this is nothing but a Z score. Yeah, and also the answer given by the Ipsita, that is also a right answer. Means, okay. Yeah, so I think all of you have good understanding about these basic concepts. So the next is all about what is mean by R square. Mean by R square. No, Neelam, it's not a measure of quality. R square is not. Yeah, it comes under the accuracy part, but it's not giving us the quality. Quality in terms of what, that also you need to mention. Yes, guys, answer to this question. Yeah. So that is the right answer, Ipsita. So it is giving the variance proportion for the dependent variable by taking into consideration all the independent variables. So in that case, we are calling it as a R square, coefficient of determination. Yeah. Yeah, right. Right answers, guys. So R square is nothing but statistical measure of fit that indicates how much variation of dependent variable is explained by independent variable. Used for linear regressions. So it's a statistical measure of fit. So we are plotting the fitting line after building the model. So it is measuring that indicates how much variation of dependent variable is explained by the independent variables. Means how much contributing those independent variable towards the dependent variable. So that factor is given by this R squared term. Okay. Next question is, what is mean by adjusted R square? Adjusted R square. Yes, guys, answer to this question. Yes, guys, answer to this question. I'm waiting for your answers. A little, very little difference between the R square and adjusted R square. Yeah, exactly, just break. So it is taking the predictors into the account. Predictors means what? Just breathe. What is okay? Adjusters increases new term improves the more than would be, yeah. Square increases only when independent variable is significant. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. So that is also a correct point, Vishwanath. So which are the significant variables we are having from our model? So significant, how we came to know that this variable is significant or not. In the model summary, you are able to see that there is a star marks over there in front of at the last part of the some variable. So those are nothing but significant variable. So what is mean by that significant variables? Means those variables are contributing most towards your output variable. So such variables. So the adjusted R square will be calculated with those variables only, which are significant one from our model summary. So this is the little difference. So that's why we are focusing on adjusted R square values rather than only R square values, because R square values will have the influence of all the independent variables, but in adjusted R square, it is having influence of only significant or contributing variables from your data set, independent variables from your data set. So which are the significant variables you are able to see in the summary, model summary. There, if there is a star mark over there, then those are the significant variables. Okay, so it's a modified version of R square that has been adjusted for the number of predictor in the model. In model. Well, most of you have given the right answer for this question. In the model. Okay, so the next question is measurement of relationship between the variables. Okay. Sorry. How do you measure the relationship between variables? How do you measure the relationship between the variables? Which are the terms that we are using for checking the relationship between the variables? Yeah, right, Sam. Covariance and correlation. Yeah, correlation coefficient. Yeah. Yeah, right answer you have given. Scree plot, no, I don't think so. Scree plot. Scree plot we are using in its clusterings, right? Yeah, so the to check the relationship between the Pawan's scree plot is the wrong answer. It's not a right answer. The rest of the people given the right answer. So it's a correlation and covariance. So with these two things, we are able to find out the relationship between the two variables. So the answer to this question is correlation. We are always looking for the correlation coefficient before doing our regression model. So it is also one of the assumptions for this linear regression and covariance. So these are the two things to measure the relationship between the variables. So next thing is that what is mean by covariance? Variance. Yeah. So that is the right answer, Ipsita. So it is the measure of joint variability, or we can say measures the variance between the two variables, two or two more than two variables. So measures the variance between two or more variables. But in our regression models, we are not looking at this covariance thing, right? So as it is not a measurable thing. So that's why the concept of this correlation came into the picture. So as we are able to do the mathematical computation for this correlation coefficient. So the next question is, what is meant by correlation Yeah, right, Vishwanath. So the next question is, what is meant by correlation? Yeah, linearity is the right thing. Ipsita, we are checking with the linearity concept. Yeah, so that is the thing. Yeah, okay, Sam. Okay, statistical to. Yeah, so it's as it is given in the first thing, it's a relationship, measure of relationship. But what it measures, based on that, we have divided these two categories, covariance and correlation. So simply measure of relationship is not the answer. Okay, Kirti. Yeah, it's a relationship. It is giving the relationship, right? But how strong it is. For that, we are checking for this correlation. That for that word, we need to use this word that measure the strength of relationship, not only relationship between two variables. So what is the range for this correlation? Just put it in the chat box. What is the range for correlation? Just give me a minute, I'm getting a call. Okay, guys, thank you for waiting, for your patience. So the next question is distribute. It is related to the distributions. So tell me two continuous data distribution techniques. Data distribution. which are the continuous data distribution techniques? Two. Any two you can name? No, Ipsita, continuous data distribution. So binomial is a 0 and 1. You got the meaning of the binomial? It's for classes, right? So classes classification means not a continuous data. Yeah, Gaussian is the right answer, Vishwanath. Gaussian is also called as a normal distribution. So normal or Gaussian is the right answer. Okay, so we are concentrating over here related to the continuous data, not a discrete kind of data. So for the discrete kind of data, we are having different types of distribution techniques. So for continuous data, we are having this uniform distribution technique, uniform. One type I'm explaining over here is uniform distribution. And second one is normal or Gaussian distribution. So these are two continuous data distributions technique. Now tell me about discrete data distribution techniques. Discrete data distribution techniques. No, Sam, logistic, you are going into the wrong way. We are discussing about data distribution techniques. Logistic is a mathematical model or algorithm we can call. If our data is in discrete format, how do we check its distribution? For continuous distribution, for continuous data, we will go through either normal distribution or Gaussian distribution. Or we can check how is it uniformly distributed or not. So mainly we are using this Gaussian distribution for the continuous data. Yeah, Vijaya, binomial is the right. Binomial distribution. Yeah, and Ipsita, right answer. Binomial and Poisson distribution. So these are the two discrete data distributions. Okay. So binomial. So these are the actual interview questions, right? For this, for the many candidates, I seen these questions for the many candidates. It is actually asked that which are the continuous data distribution. If your data is continuous or if your data is in discrete format, how do you check for its distribution? So if it is continuous, then if you say binomial or Poisson, then they will cut your marks there in that interview. So these are the two techniques for the discrete data distribution. So the next question is, what is mean by uniform distribution? Are you getting the meaning behind distribution? No, guys, that is first and most important thing. Distribution means how the values in your column are distributed. We need to check. So based on the values, we are dividing it into the based on the data type of those values, like continuous or discrete. We are using different distribution techniques. For continuous data, we are having normal distribution, and for discrete data, we are using this Poisson or binomial distribution. There are few more are there, but in general, we are using these techniques only. So what is meant by uniform distribution? Okay, bell-shaped curve is not a uniform. Ipsita. I'm asking you about uniform, not a normal distribution, normal or Gaussian. So uniform probability distribution where all outcomes are equally like or same. The chance of appearing those outcomes is equally same, equally like. So this kind of distribution is nothing but uniform distribution. So the next question, as you given the answer for this question, what is meant by normal or Gaussian distribution? Yes, try for this question. What is meant by normal or Gaussian distribution? Yeah, Ipsita, that is right, where every possible outcome has equal likelihood of happening. Yeah. But for normal, what is the answer for the normal distribution? So if anyone asks you about this normal or Gaussian distribution, first thing you have to tell them that bell-shaped curve. Bell-shaped curve and where mean is 0 and standard deviation is 1. So such kind of distribution is nothing but a Gaussian or normal distribution. Yeah, right answers. So the next question is, what is mean by Poisson or Poisson distribution? When we will use this Poisson distribution? Now we know that it is for a discrete data. One thing we know that related to the Poisson distribution. Okay, I will give the answer for this. Probability distribution that expresses probability of a given number of events occurring within fixed time period. So such a distribution is called as Poisson distribution. The probability distribution that expresses probability of a given number of events occurring within a fixed time zone or fixed time period. Then we can use the Poisson distribution for such kind of data. And at last, what is meant by binomial distribution? As name itself is explaining binomial, what it is about. Yeah. Yeah, right answers. So for this, what is meant by binomial distribution? It is for only Boolean kind of outcomes. It is for 0 and 1. Number of successes in sequence of an independent experiences. Experiences each with its Boolean or binary outcomes. So such kind of distribution is nothing but binomial distribution. Yeah, two outcomes, but that outcome should be in a binary or Boolean format. Data type of that is important. So based on by looking at the data type inside our column, the values, the data type of the values. So we need to select which type of distribution technique that we have to use for. Okay, so as it is a time up for today, so in tomorrow's lecture, if I will be taking tomorrow's lecture, then we will continue with some probability and with some hypothesis testing question and answers. Okay, so thank you guys. Thanks for your time. I'm closing the session over here.